We've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially north of Madison. It prompted some severe thunderstorm warnings with quarter-sized hail. Can we expect widespread severe weather tonight? I'll let you know.
More fallout in the Sun Prairie School District. Why a parent is suing the district after a former dean of students was charged this summer with child sex crimes.
And our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde reports from Green Bay the latest on a banged-up offense for the Green and Gold as they head to their first road trip of the year in Cleveland. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. And thanks for staying with us as the weekend is almost here. But will the rain impact tonight's high school football games?
And the Badger game tomorrow as well. Alex Harrington is here watching the radar. How many showers can we expect tonight? Oh, look at it. It's pretty colorful.
It's pretty colorful, especially north of the Dells. To answer that question, I would be prepared tonight for those high school games and tomorrow for the Badger game to have that rain gear handy. Scattered is key. There will be some dry time as well. But the greatest concentration of showers and storms has been north of Madison, north of the Dells. The strongest storm right now is near the Linden Station, right along I-90. And we have had some confirmation of hail, potentially to the size of approximately a quarter with this storm, and also some street flooding in the town of Linden. I'm going to zoom on in here, right along I-90 again. This is Linden Station here, looking at that potential hail size here. This looks just to be a little bit below severe limits at about a ½ inch in diameter. So that's certainly good news. And that thunderstorm is going to be moving off towards the north and towards the east at approximately 20 to 30 miles per hour. So communities, as it moves off towards the north that are in the path of this strong thunderstorm, again, it's not severe at this point in time, is going to take this off towards the Plainville area at about 5 o'clock. That's right now. Over towards the Springville area at 5:09 p.m. and Quincy, if it holds together, at 5:23 p.m. Zooming on out the rest of southern Wisconsin, again, scattered is key. Not seeing a lot of activity south of the Dells, at least not at this point in time. And future track, this may be a good thing for those high school football games. If this future track projection holds true, the best chances for thunderstorms are going to be north and west of Madison this evening, and then we'll see a dwindling phase. But there's more showers and storms in the forecast. Will it impact that Badger game? I'll show you using future track when I come back.
All right, Alex, thank you. And now to Sun Prairie, where parents are continuing to seek answers from the district after a staff member at Sun Prairie West faces charges related to child sex crimes.
Well, right now, a concerned parent is suing the district over its closed session meetings. Tanisha Shaw spoke with that parent, also with the school district today. Tanisha?
Yeah, I spoke to the parent and the district. The parent's name is Justin Smith. He said the way the district has been handling closed session meetings is unlawful. Smith said that this pattern started after the arrest of Sun Prairie West former dean of students, Robert Gilkey Massaguire. News 3 Now obtained this lawsuit Friday that says Sun Prairie Area School District is going into closed session for vague reasons. Smith says that this is leading to information possibly being withheld from Sun Prairie parents. This is happening as parents are seeking transparency after police arrested Robert Gilkey Massaguire for 15 felony charges. For most of the district's closed session meetings before today, the school board cites state statutes and doesn't give specific reasons for the meetings being in closed sessions. I spoke to Smith on the phone today, who says this is unacceptable.
And they just have completely disregarded those expectations, those requirements, and they continue to do so. And we've seen since the arrest of the former dean, they've had twice as many closed sessions as they've had open sessions. And they continue after being been notified by our movement and the parents in the community and myself of these violations. And so they don't seem to be really listening, and they don't seem to be taking it very seriously. And so we're hoping that this lawsuit forces them to do so.
The Wisconsin State Statute 19.84 says that the public must know about the subject matter of public and closed session meetings. For the district's upcoming closed session meeting this Monday, they added more information than they usually do to their agenda. It says that they will specifically discuss this lawsuit, a criminal investigation of a former employee, and more. I reached out to the district, and they said that they plan to motion to dismiss this lawsuit by October 3rd. Susan and Eric, I'm going to send it back to you for now.
All right, Tanisha, thank you. A group of teenagers are hurt after a rollover crash last night in Grant County. Deputies were sent to Weinbrenner Road in Fenimore for reports of a rollover accident. They learned that the 16-year-old driver was driving too fast and lost control after coming over a hill. The vehicle went off the road, crashed into an embankment, and hit a power pole. All three people inside inside were taken to the hospital in Lancaster for treatment. The driver was ticketed for failure to maintain control, and one passenger was cited for not wearing a seatbelt.
Ticketmaster and its parent company are being sued by the federal government. The Federal Trade Commission leveling a litany of accusations against Live Nation Entertainment, and those include dishonest pricing, with fees often hidden and added at the end of purchases, which the FTC says can be as much as 44% of the total final cost, misrepresenting how many tickets are available, and also that company claims of imposing strict limits on ticket purchases are false.
Ticketmaster knew this was happening and let it happen because a lot of these sales were then going to Ticketmaster's secondary ticketing platform. And that means that, Ticketmaster and these brokers got to pocket profits.
The FTC says Ticketmaster controls ticketing for about 80% of major venues in the United States, with consumers spending nearly $83 billion buying tickets from the company between 2019 and last year.
President Trump spoke with China's leader this morning to finalize a deal to keep TikTok operational in the U.S. Sources familiar with the framework say the proposal would involve investments from a number of U.S.-based venture capital firms, private equity funds, and tech companies. Together, the investors would create a new U.S. company that would operate TikTok domestically. Chinese investors would own the remaining 20% of the company.
People that are investing in it are among the greatest investors in the world, the biggest, the richest, and they'll do a great job. And we're doing it in conjunction with China.
The two leaders discussed a variety of topics, and President Trump says they agreed to several future meetings, with the first expected in the coming weeks at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea.
The former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland visited UW-Madison to speak with business students. Loretta Mester served as the bank's president from June of 2014 until June of last year. Today's event gives Wisconsin School of Business students insight on the forces shaping interest rates, financial markets, and the economy. And we asked Mester about the Fed's most recent rate cut. She says it's part of the Fed trying to balance its dual mandate of maximum employment and price stability.
Fed had to balance those and decided that it was time to reduce the interest rate, to ease up a little bit to help support the labor market, but also not take their eye off of the inflation part of the goal. And that was the determination of everyone. There was one dissent, but the consensus on the committee was it was time to do a 25 basis point. Where things go from there really depends on how the economy evolves.
Mester adds that today's talk is especially beneficial for students given the current focus on the Federal Reserve and economic policy.
Well, in just 2 days, the Packers will hit the road to face off against the Cleveland Browns.
The first road test, but two key pieces of their offense may not take the field. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more on who's on that official injury report.
Two of the Packers' most important pieces on offense are listed as questionable on the official injury report as they get ready for their road trip to Cleveland to face the Browns. Tight end Tucker Kraft and right tackle Zach Tom, both listed as questionable for the game with injuries. We'll start with Tucker Kraft. He suffered a knee injury in practice on Thursday. He did not practice today. He did do some rehab work. It is not a long-term injury. He doesn't need to go on injured reserve. And the Packers, at least officially, are not ruling out the possibility that he could play against the Browns. As for Zach Tom, who suffered an oblique injury in the opener against Detroit on September 7th, he did not play against the Commanders. He is still in some pain. He has tried to do some work today in practice. He said he did do some 11-on-11, but Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, has said he has to be cleared to play, but also it is up to him and how comfortable he is. And Zach Tom told me that he's battling between wanting to be out there with his team and the responsibility he holds of being out there, especially against a top-flight pass rusher in Myles Garrett, and also making sure that he doesn't do any serious damage further to his oblique and misses even more time as the season goes on. We'll have full coverage of that and everything else Packers on channel3000.com for free. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, which delivers our Packers coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
And Jason, thanks. The Packers, as he mentioned, against the Browns Sunday in Cleveland. Kickoff set for noon. And tomorrow, the Badgers face off against Maryland at Camp Randall, but How do we feel about the matchup? We know you were
The
waiting.
experts, the real experts.
We know you've been waiting. In our weekly picks from the News 3 Now team, I have Wisconsin taking this one 31-20, and we clearly collaborated, or maybe Susan copied off me. This is pretty close. She has the Badgers winning 28-20. Meanwhile, both Alex and Tanasia make it a clean sweep, expecting the Badgers to win their Big Ten opener this weekend at Camp Randall Stadium. You can see more picks from the News 3 Now staff at channel3000.com. Excellent pick. You know your football. There is no doubt.
Just ask me.
Next at 5, new changes are made to vaccine recommendations. This time it concerns those COVID shots.
And concerns rise after Jimmy Kimmel's show is suspended by ABC. Why some lawmakers say it's creating a dangerous precedent.
And still to come at 5, restoring a neglected labyrinth. How a Wisconsin church is creating a space of calm and reflection for community members. And on Wall Street, all 3 major indices close at fresh record highs. The Dow gaining almost 173 points. The Nasdaq adds 161. The S&P jumps more than 32. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
ABC's decision to suspend late-night host Jimmy Kimmel has sparked some concerns.
With some legal experts saying that the Trump administration could be using the government to silence its critics. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
In the wake of ABC's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, President Trump suggested other networks could face consequences for negative coverage.
They give me only bad publicity from the press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, says the president has changed the direction of the country and is taking aim at legacy media.
We're going to continue to hold these broadcasters accountable to the public interest. And if broadcasters don't like that, simple solution, they can turn their license into the FCC. There's other things that we can do with it.
But the FCC only issues licenses to individual local stations, not networks. And it was the owner of a station group that helped push for Kimmel's suspension. Nexstar, the country's largest local broadcasting group, first announced it would preempt Kimmel's show. Nexstar is currently seeking FCC approval for a $6.2 billion merger with another media company, Tegna.
The issue here really is whether the government is using coercion or pressure to get private companies to do indirectly what it could not directly force them to do.
Many Democrats and even some Republicans say this sets a dangerous precedent.
If the government gets in the business of saying,
what
we don't like what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
House Republicans blocked a motion to subpoena the FCC chair to testify before Congress. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices also finished its 2-day meeting this afternoon with another change to vaccine recommendations. The committee voted to advise Americans to speak to their doctors if they want a COVID-19 vaccine, but it stopped short of recommending anyone 6 months and older get the shot. The 12-member panel was handpicked by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and some outside medical liaisons working with the panel say the guidance should be more forceful.
Simple, stable recommendations can increase vaccine coverage. COVID-19 vaccines are highly safe and effective. Or if we don't want to say safe and effective, they work.
A recent CBS News poll found 77% of Americans say the COVID shots should be available to people who want them, whether or not they would get one themselves.
Well, the First Warn Weather Team has been keeping a very close eye on some rain in the area tonight.
Alex is back. The latest on those rainfall projections and possibilities, Alex.
Yes, keeping an eye on thunderstorms that have really been generally north of the Dalles area, Juneau and Adams counties, Marquette, Green Lake, Columbia counties. You've all had severe thunderstorm warnings, at least briefly this afternoon, and still still the greatest concentration of those showers and those thunderstorms are to the north of the Dells in Juneau and Adams County, with that one storm north of Linden Station here. It's not severe at the moment, but we have hail potentially to the size of 3/4 of an inch in diameter, so not quite 1 inch. That would be severe sized hail, but that brings it into Springfield right about now at 5:16. Quincy at the end of our newscast, then up towards Adams in the Adams County Legion Field at right around 5:40 p.m. We're keeping a close eye on the storm as it is pulse-like, meaning we get little upticks with the energy in the storm, and then we get little downticks with the storm energy going down. But this storm right now, again, north of Linden Station along County Road HH, just right along Highway 82, some small hail and some torrential downpours, and of course lightning is certainly a possibility with that thunderstorm. Then keeping an eye, there's a little wave that's moving through, little ripple of energy that stretches from the Dells to Madison to Janesville. We'll see if this fills in here over the course of the next hour or so. Future track not showing that, but it does capture those thunderstorms well up towards Camp Douglas and in Adams counties as well. As we move through the evening, it doesn't really fill in that line of thunderstorms that we've been seeing in our future track projection the past couple of days. So that'd be good for those with high school football games going on tonight. We'll keep a close eye on this. Well, it does want to light things up here again as we get into the early morning hours. Later tonight, we lose the energy from the day, so that chance of a strong storm or two would be less if this verifies 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But let's move forward because we got an important day tomorrow. We got the Badger game, 11 o'clock. Look at this. Could be dry. Remember, I've been saying the past few days we could have that narrow window of opportunity from about 11 o'clock to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon where we're dry for the most part in Dane County. Then scattered showers and thunderstorms break out again as we go into the afternoon and evening hours. Scattered is key, meaning some places are going to get wet. There are going to be a couple places that maybe just right down the road get very little to nothing. So you see that scattered nature of perhaps upwards, at least the capacity, the potential for 3/4 of an inch to an inch of water if you get 1 or 2 of those persistent showers and thunderstorms. But there might be pockets across southern Wisconsin that see very little over the course of the next 24 hours. And we need those drops right along the Wisconsin-Illinois border, Dickeyville to Darlington to Monroe, Janesville, Elkhorn. Abnormally dry conditions exist across southern Wisconsin, but also want to shout out to our farmer friends that this dry weather is actually beneficial for the harvest because it keeps the soybeans and the corn dry for that harvest. For the month of September here, we should have on average about 2 inches. In Madison, we've barely even had 7/10 of an inch of water. 60s for low temperatures tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms, a touch on the muggy side. High temperatures in the 70s. If we get sunshine, we'll be a little warmer. If we stay more cloudy and more persistent shower and storm activity on Saturday, upper 60s to the lower 70s. Bring that red rain poncho to the Badger game in case we do have a couple of those showers right around the kickoff time. Again, I think we might squeeze in a little bit of dry time with better chances for showers and thunderstorms after we win the game. Heading out into the first day of fall, above normal with a shower and storm chance. And next week, staying at or above normal temperature.
All right, Alex, thank you. Still to come at 5, creating a place of calm and reflection while a Wisconsin church restored a neglected labyrinth on its property. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A Manitowoc church is inviting the community there to a new meditation space.
It has restored a labyrinth on its property that had been neglected for about 15 years. Abby Hamachek has the details.
The labyrinth at Lakeshore United Methodist Church was built 15 years ago as an Eagle Scout project, but over time it became overgrown until this summer when volunteers put in more than 70 hours to unearth it.
But it hadn't been maintained. We could just sort of see the circles of bricks underneath the grass, and this summer we felt called to dig it out.
The church celebrated its reopening and blessing earlier this month, and for Pastor Sherry Forrett, it's become a place of calm and reflection.
It makes a quiet place to step away from the craziness of the world.
Forrett says people often mistake a labyrinth for a maze, but they're very different.
A maze will sometimes have dead ends or wrong turns to make. A labyrinth doesn't have that. One path in, a time to reflect in the center, and then the same path out.
According to the Labyrinth Society, there are 115 in Wisconsin, part of more than 6,000 worldwide.
Labyrinths are symmetrical when you walk them. And so if you're off balance, it tends to help you become more calm.
Labyrinth Society Executive Director Kay Whipple says the walk can be described as moving meditation.
We have a three-part walk. The walk in, and that's where you kind of let go of the world. And the center, where you kind of open up to inspiration. And the walk out is integrating the inspiration that you received in the center.
The church hopes the restored path will serve the entire community.
We absolutely invite anybody to come and walk, pray, meditate in the labyrinth.
And there's your moment of zen for this Friday afternoon. The church plans to hold a special meditation event next month for those interested in experiencing the labyrinth.
Alex is back. Final check of your weekend forecast after a short break.
Security this weekend at the public memorial for conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be at the same level reserved for events like the Super Bowl. And Steve Hartman is on the road. He meets one man who stands 7'3", but his future isn't in the NBA. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight at 6, we'll have continuing coverage as a parent sues the Sun Prairie School District over its closed session meetings. That story and more. Join us at the top of the hour for News 3 Now at 6.
An umbrella might be a good idea for football tonight, huh?
Yes, have that rain gear tonight and tomorrow. We have some scattered showers. Also have that indoor plan in place. If you hear any thunder, there's a saying, I know it sounds kind of goofy, when thunder roars, go indoors. We have some thunderstorms still to the generally north of the Dells. Right now, not severe. We did have some isolated severe warnings earlier. Future track keeping those storms a little bit more towards the north and to the west of Madison, which is a bit of a change from earlier projections. So that means perhaps a little bit less in the way of storm activity in the Madison area. But we'll keep a close eye on it. And at 6 o'clock, we'll have a fresh look at Radar 3000 and a fresh look at Future Track to give you the latest on radar, the potential for rain shower activity for the Badger game tomorrow. Hopefully we can squeeze in that 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock time frame dry.
Would be nice to not get soaked for the fans going down there. But again, like we said, no umbrellas. Don't bring your umbrellas. Bring your ponchos.
No ponchos.
And but for the high school games tonight, also be prepared for rain. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 5. Coming up next, the CBS Evening News, and we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
Hope to see you then, everybody. You can find us 24/7 streaming on Channel 3000+. Have a good evening. See you at 6.